Hello everybody, thank you for being here. I am Frank of That Train Couple, and today we're going to go over a video on how to create an N-Trak bus line testing tool. This tool is very useful when you're working with N-Trak modules. You can test one module or you can test a whole run of modules that you put together for like a show or some sort of portable layout. And it's been very helpful for me and my club, the Burning River End Society, okay? So we're gonna get into that in just a second. But since you're here, why don't you take a moment and go and hit that subscribe button. That really does help us out a lot. And also if you have any comments, put them down in the comment section, okay? So let's get started on building this tool. All right guys, for this project, we're gonna use this product that I found on Amazon. It is a cable tester and it's meant to test the Cat5 or internet cable, which has 8 lines in it and of course a 6 wire. I believe it can also do 4 wires, but it's going to work for what we need for testing 8 wires of N-Trak, okay? And the neat thing about this is it does have this piece that can separate. So now you have an ability to have one piece on one side and one piece on the other. And the idea is, if I take like a regular old junky Ethernet cable, if I plug this in on one side, I take the other side and I plug that in here, and I turn this on. Let me put this back together. That way it might be a little bit easier to work with. Okay, I turn this on. You can see it'll go through all of the different lines and making sure they're all correct. Now, if there was a problem of some sort, you would see it on these indicators. There's a second mode on here, which is an S, which is a slow mode, so that you can see it very slowly and can test what's going on. So the idea being is that once we have this whole thing created, we're going to be able to put one set at the end of the module run, or at the end of one module, and the other one on the other side. Turn this on and it should check all of the bus lines going through. Now, how do we get the plugs, this type of plug, these things here, into here from what we have with the power poles? Well, for that, we're going to be using these. These I also found on Amazon. They have a Cat5 Ethernet plug here. Say a regular old Ethernet 8 wire. And on this side, you have the 8 pins, which are screw terminals. So you would screw in each of your wires. As long as they match up with a pair of these, you should be good to go, okay? So that's the gist of it. It's pretty easy to do. What I'm going to do first, I think, though, is start with the power pole side of the connection. Now, I do have here some wire. These are some cuttings from some of the Kato feeder wire. That's what I use, is Kato N-Trak, and it's basically blue and white. So for this, I'm going to be using blue line will be the main, or what I consider to be the positive side of things, and white will be the negative side, or what I'm going to use for black plug. So if you look at each of these wires, you can think of one side being like one side of the module, and you have one side of the other module here, and on that we have your red, you have your yellow, you have your blue, and you have your white. And white, if you remember, is your accessory line. Same thing over here. Let's see if I can do the color coding when I'm just picking them up like that. And white, and then of course you have a matching black that goes with each of these, okay? So the idea though is to basically, we're gonna work on the first side, these lines here, putting these together. And all this requires is to basically go here and strip some wire. So I'm gonna split this up a little bit. I should have brought some cutters with me, but there we go. Just, you split the wire up, you use some wire strippers. Let's do the blue side first. Take a little bit of this through here. I use these automatic strippers. They actually work really well. I've used these for years. And then I take that and I will then just twist the wires together a little bit. Now, this we're going to be putting into some of the power pole connectors that go into here. So I've got a bunch of 15 amp. The wire doesn't matter. You can use any size you want. For this, since it works with Cat5 and Ethernet cable, obviously you can use very small gauge wires for this, okay? But I'll put this on, oops, just dropped one in. I'll put this little connector. I'm going to show you that right there. See if I can see it on the camera. And I'm going to put it into the wire into that. And then I have a crimping tool off camera here, which I will, it's a beast. And I will put that into the crimping tool in the right spot, and hopefully, well, the wire's moving in there too. This is a little bit harder than you think when you're trying to record, especially. But what I'm trying to do is get enough of the wire in there, but not the rest of the coating there. And then I just basically crimp that down. And there I have a connection, just like that. And it's good to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, since I was doing the white wire, I'm going to do the white piece first. Now the trick with this is that you can see it has like a little hook on it, little hook at the end. And that hook goes into where this bottom part is. It kind of hooks over a piece. So this wire has to go in here. Now, the thinner wire, it's very hard to work with. I picked up this tool right here. You can see it's got like a little bit of a groove. Where's the camera here? It's over here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm still trying to get used to doing this over here. Anyway, it's got a little bit of a groove. So what I do is I take the piece, I hold it with my finger, and you can kind of see it's wrapped. Where is the camera? It's over here. Oh, jeez. This is terrible. Sorry about that, guys. First time doing one of these top-down videos for the channel. You'll have to forgive me for that. But anyway, basically, it wraps around the wire, and then when I push this in, I have something to push against. And it should go in pretty quickly. You should hear a click, like that. And now that wire is secured inside of the power pole. So what I want to do then is I want to do all the rest of these, white, black, blue, black, yellow, black, red, black for this set of wires, and do the same thing over here for this set of wires. All right, you can see I've done all of the plugs. They're ready to go. I haven't attached them together to make one big plug like you use for N-Trak yet, because I think it'll be easier to work on the other side. Now the other side, we need to first of all strip these, because this is the side that will go into this block here, which is the part that has the screw terminals. You can see the terminals there. You stick the wire in, screw terminal, and then you just plug this into our scannering device, okay? Now, screw terminals are kind of weird, and we have a few different options with these wires. So we're going to strip these wires. These wires are pretty easy to strip. Now, you can put that wire directly into the screw terminal. Some people do that, but you have a risk of frayed wires. The wires does get flattened out, but frayed wires that might touch and cross your connections, which is not good. You could strip this wire and then tin it. That works as well, but it also, when you do that, it also does kind of compress the tin wire in here. So what I have learned and I started to use these things called ferrules. And I've got a whole bunch of blue and white ones because I use them with my feeders. But basically what they are, I don't know if you can see this, I'll try to show this on the camera. Basically what it is a little sleeve that goes over the wire portion here. It gets crimped down, and then the rest of the wire is in here. So if you do have any small frays, they should be contained within that section in there. So I'm going to use those for these. Of course, the blue ones right here. Blue ones get blue and white gets white. So there's 16 wires. So I'm just going to do that right now. I'm going to do the first one here on camera, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Basically, like we have been doing before, I'll do a blue side here. In essence, you strip some wire. There we go. And you do your twisty wire. That's what we always do to get it together, because this is stranded wire. Now I'm going to take one of the ferrules here, and I'm going to put the wire into the ferrule. And it kind of goes all the way down over it. You can see it makes a nice little connection there. And then what I do is I take a crimping tool. Basically this device just kind of crimps down. So I put the wire in there, a little piece of it. So you can see I got just a sleeve there. And then I crimp like that. And now this is a good connection, and this will work really well going into our screw terminal. So I'm going to do the rest of these wires so they're all ready to go, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, guys, we have our plugs ready to go. All the power poles are on one side and all of the ferrules are on the other. We have to make up the N-Trak standard cables. Now, I'm going to use this side for one side, and you can see how there's like a U shape and there's a fat bottom on it, on the bottom of this plug here, okay? And so that's the part, I consider that to be the bottom. And for this side, we're gonna make the black go underneath the plug, okay? So you can see now I have red and then black. And we're gonna do that with each of these. Now, these have an interesting little thing here. They have like a little groove that you can slide the other plug into. So I'm gonna say, okay, here's the bottom's groove. There's the top of the black, and it's got a big fat groove here. So you put these together, and then they slide together like that. And then what you do is you can take those two and put them together, and now you've got, all of a sudden you've got red and yellow in a plug, and it's very specific of orientation for it. So I'm going to work with the same thing here with blue and black. And this is the standard plug. This is the minimum that you use for N-Trak typically, which is 6 wires. But the standard does say that you need to have an accessory line, or should have an accessory line, and that is color coded with white, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing with white here and get this all put together. Now I'm gonna keep white separate from this plug, so it is, but it'll be worked together. So you can see we have red, yellow, blue, and then we have white. Now the trick here though with power poles is they actually can work, they're both male and female, they work the same way, but they have to plug in differently. So if you look here, I can get this one to plug in here, and I can get the black one to plug in here, like that. If I pull those back out, okay, you can see that the bottoms now are reversed, okay? So the black basically goes on top. So we're gonna do the same thing here. get that together. We'll do the black again on top of the yellow, and black on top of blue, and then after that we'll get black on top of white, okay? And so they should be matched up and be able to plug in together. Now also, because this is red, yellow, blue, the red one has to go like this, so the yellow goes on this side of it. So you got to find the right grooves, and they should go together perfectly fine, just like that. And we'll do the other one here for blue. And just like that, guys, we have some plugs that will go together just like that. And that's kind of what happens between modules, if you think about it. You put the module ends, it goes to the next one, it plugs in, it goes through the module and back out. Okay, so now what we can do is we can take these ends here for this set and these ends for this set and plug them onto these right here. Now, I'm trying to figure out polarity. There's no real direction, but if you can look really close here, hopefully I can't see on the camera, so hopefully you can see it. There is a plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. So the side that has plus, I'm gonna call that pin 1. It may not be, I don't know. It doesn't matter as long as I can figure this out. I guess we can kind of figure it out really quick if we wanted to, just by hooking up. Let's hook up pin 7 and 8, what I think is 7 and 8. We'll hook the accessory line and just do a quick test on that, okay? So, okay guys, Frank from the future here, and I had some troubles with this. So I wanted to show you that this is the plug, as you can see, and if it looks like this, on it there are some markings, and they go positive, minus, positive, minus, positive, minus, positive, minus, just like that, okay? Now, the wires you want to go into here, the pin numbers are actually kind of weird. I thought they're 1 through 8 going this way. They're actually, if you go that way, is 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, and then 7, 8. Now, what does that mean, okay? Well, that means that right here, 1 and 2 I had for red. So this is red positive and red negative, okay? Now that's 1 and 2. 3, this would be yellow positive. Now see, it's weird because over here is yellow negative. It kind of straddles the red. Yellow negative, that's 4. And now we have blue positive, which is 5. We have blue negative, which is 6. And then 7 and 8 are just a straight white. So we have white positive, white negative, okay? That's the color scheme for this, and that's what it works. And I have done that here. You can see that there's some crossing, like this is the blue line. Blue positive goes to 5, and blue negative goes over here to number 6. And so now when I work this all works out just like it did. And of course, they all look like they were working fine, but this way you can tell if it's running on which particular wire. If you get like number 1 is broken, you know number 1 is for red, okay? So let's just go through real quick. I'll hit it on speed mode, and the system is working great. Okay, let's get back to the video. The tools, this little pack did come with a screwdriver, so we're gonna unscrew these 2 end screws. I'm gonna figure out which one this is. That'll tell us orientation. And we're gonna plug in the lines. Now I want the negative to be the white line, so we'll do that. And you can see the ferrule just plugs right in. Just goes right in there, and even though it sticks out a little bit, it's not going to matter really because it's not going to have any frayed wires, okay? So I'm going to put these 2 in here, and then we're going to move on and get the other side done. Okay, as you can see here, I've plugged these in, and as I thought, 7 and 8 are these last two lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the way that works. So now I can plug in these. Reds will be 1 and 2, yellow 3 and 4, blue is 5 and 6. So let me go finish this cable out, and we're gonna see how this all works together. Okay, as you can see, I have finished up screwing all of these wires down into the screw terminals. So we're going to hook these things up. Let's get this one into here. This is the base, and this is the remote. Just like that, and then we're gonna hook these wires up. So we have, of course, the accessory lines are matched up, and we have our bus lines are hooked up, and if we did everything right, I'm going to put these together, close together so you can see it. We're going to run this right now on slow mode, green, green. Everything so far is testing out. The system is a good wire, okay? That's fantastic. So all 8 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, test out good. So you should be able to plug this onto a module, put one end on the module, one on the other end of the module and test the entire bus line and make sure it works. So here it is, guys. Here is the testing tool that I can use for N-Trak, telling me that everything's okay or everything's not okay before you get going on your show, and the crowd is in there, the public's in there, and then you've got to try to figure out something and fix it while stuff's going on, which is kind of embarrassing. So it's a nice little tool and can maybe help you diagnose problems fairly quickly. Now, I do apologize for how this video turns out, because this is the first time we're doing this top-down view on this channel. I'm doing this, as you saw, in my dining room, so it's a matter of trying to figure out lighting, trying to figure out camera positions. I am filming it on my iPhone, and I can't really see the screen very well, so it's kind of hard to judge where things are here. So hopefully this will turn out okay. I'll know in a little bit when I get to editing, and so yeah. Hope you like this. That's all there is to it, guys. This tool is fantastic. It really is cheap to build, and it works fantastic. So let me know if you build this. Put some comments down and say how it worked. I'd be happy to hear about that. And if you have any questions or any other technical issues, reach out to me and I'll see what I can do, okay? Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.